Welcome to the Nerd Party.
Scully,
Yes?
marry me.
I love you and I like you.
I love you and I like you.
I love that woman. I love her more than sharks love blood.
I love you.
You don't.
Hello, I'm Tristan Riddell,
And I'm the girl.
and this is Nerd Nuptial episode 51. That's right, we have surpassed 50 episodes, and we are still going, and we're not stopping anytime soon. We want to thank you guys for everything that you do for us. We say this all the time, but yet we mean it all the time, because you guys have continued to email us, subscribe, and download, and talk to us on Twitter and Facebook, and let us know what you think of the show, and it really warms our hearts to know that we have such a loving audience out there. And there was a lot of great response with us continuing to share our baby story. And so before we talk about binge watching, which is a big portion of what we're going to talk about today, we're going to preface the reason as to why we are talking about binge watching. Do you want to talk about our current recording setup right now, girl?
It's a little more uncomfortable than we're used to. Or I guess more comfortable for me. Because on Thursday I got put on bed rest.
Bed rest, yes.
Yeah. My feet looked like in Star Trek, when Captain Kirk has that whatever, like what happened to him? He blows up.
Yeah, like Bones gives him a disease so that he gets on the Enterprise. We're talking about the reboot in 09, and then all of a sudden he looks at his hands and they're super swollen. He's like, "Oh God, what's wrong?" That is what your feet look like.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. So they put me on bed rest. Don't know what's going to happen this week because I see the doctor again. But for right now, I am definitely resting while we podcast.
Yes, it's fun. I'd say this is the Roman version of podcasting because you're reclined, you're relaxed.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I think I just need some like grapes or something.
Peeled, please.
That's right.
But yeah, we went to the doc on Thursday and they said, they're like, yeah, they took one look at your feet and your legs and they're like, yeah, you need to go on bed rest at least until Monday. So
Yeah. Apparently we have a large child. So
which immediately when the doctor said that, they're like, oh yeah, this baby's big. And you said like, oh, this like we're probably gonna get and you said your maiden name, we're gonna get a baby like that. I'm like, please no, because your brother, my brother-in-law, is 6'8" and like 300 pounds.
yeah. Well, like the doctor says, it doesn't necessarily mean that our daughter will be that size.
Yes.
But like I said, it like maybe she'll just be a model, like the very tall, the opposite of us.
A 6'8", 300-pound model. Yes, yes, that's how that works.
All right.
However size she is, she's gonna be beautiful and amazing.
That's
so
right.
Whatever size that is. But yeah, so we're finding out tomorrow if you have to stay on bed rest.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, because that's a big thing. Because the baby's not coming for another 3 weeks potentially.
Potentially. Like, it'd be okay if she came now, but I wouldn't mind if she came now. I think it's more like it. Yeah. But we're ready for her. Everything's done. But we'll see what the doctors say.
And that's the thing is that we started going on all these mommy boards and all these blogs and everything like that about do's and don'ts of bed rest. And you have to keep your feet elevated. You have to relax. And so you can't do anything around the house, and so I have to do everything.
Yes, so our house is a little messy right now.
I wish I could argue that point, but no, it's true. Yeah. I have to do everything, so everything's a little messy. But yes, so one big thing on every single board about like people who said like, oh yeah, if you have to go on bed rest, Netflix is your friend.
That's right.
And so we kind of wanted to talk about that today.
Yeah.
We wanted to talk about what is good to binge watch, what is good to marathon, and what makes a show worthy of marathoning, and everything like that. And so one thing that we're actually currently watching, which we kind of just fell into, which I feel like can happen sometimes, and that's Parks and Recreation.
No, it didn't just happen.
It did just happen.
No, it happened just for you because I decided while I was home to watch it when you weren't around, and then you caught an episode and then just kept watching it with me, and then now I can't watch it alone because you want to watch it with me. This happens all the time.
Well, it's not my fault that you picked such a good show that I enjoy. But yeah, that's the thing, is that there's certain times when, like, if I'm at work or you're at work, we'll pick something to watch. So, like, something that the other person is not invested in.
Right.
Like, we're not going to watch Westworld by ourselves.
Exactly.
Or anything like that. We're going to save that for each other. But you chose a show that we've seen a million times and everything like that. And so when you picked Parks and Rec, you're like, yeah, he won't care about this one. But you picked it at just the right time. For some reason, I latched onto it. I was like, oh, you're watching this? And then, boom, that was it.
Yeah, it's true.
So what is it about Parks and Recreation that makes you want to watch and rewatch over and over again? Or what makes it something where you can watch several in a row?
I think it's the humor and the familiarity. Like, because we watched it so often, I think that helps a lot. So I know what I'm getting, and I know what episodes I actually enjoy watching. And I am definitely a creature of habit. So I like rewatching things that I already know I like.
But what about Parks and Rec specifically?
Oh, I think the Leslie Knope character for sure, and the Ben Wyatt character, because I'm not the crazy Leslie, but we've talked about it before, how I'm like, parts of her are definitely like me, and you're definitely more like a Ben.
So you like watching it because it reminds you of us?
Yeah. Well, I also think it's a great ensemble.
That is true. I mean, the Parks and Rec show is definitely it's all of them. I mean, all of them working together is what makes it great. I mean, are there storylines that are boring? Yes. Are there characters who, as you watch it, as you go through the seasons, you realize, wow, the writers had no idea what to do with this character.
Right.
That is very prevalent in Parks and Recreation. But because it's such a great ensemble, and because they have so many winning characters, the other people just pick up the slack.
Yeah.
Like, when you're in season 4, you're like, oh my god, they have no idea what to do with Anne in season 4. But then, like, oh, in season 5 she has a new purpose. But in season 5 they have no idea, what to do with April. But that's okay because, Andy has a good season this season. So it's yeah.
It's true. Yeah. Another one I started watching when I was home alone on Friday was rewatching Mad Men.
Yes, I noticed that on the Netflix because Friday was the first day that you were on bed rest and I was at work and so I come home and you're napping and Don Draper is wooing some woman who's not his wife and I'm just like, oh yeah, of course.
Well, I think there's something to that as well. Like with binge watching, is that for me at least, like sometimes I think it's something that I can just tune out because I've seen it or I just know what's going to happen, that I don't need to be 100% invested.
It's kind of like the same way that I never really did this too terribly much, where people they just wanted something on while they did something else.
Oh, I do that all the time.
See, I don't really like doing that. I don't like if something is on,
you're going to watch it.
I'm going to watch it. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like having things on in the background. I mean, actually, I think the only show recently where I had it on the background, whether I was doing like graphic design or if I was writing something up or something like that, where I didn't really need all of my visual attention or audio attention or anything like that, would be Star Wars Clone Wars. I would have that playing on in the background.
Okay.
And I don't know why. I wonder why that is, because with that, it's a kid's show. And so most of the time the plots aren't very intricate. I know the Star Wars hosts on the network who are listening to this are probably screaming at you right now.
Probably.
Saying, what? No, it was sublime. But no, it's a great...
But it's designed for kids.
It's designed for kids. I mean, whether you like it or not, it's designed for kids. Now, are there storylines later on where you're kind of like, oh my god, this was designed for kids? Like there's you change your tone a couple of different ways. But it's good, and I feel like because it's a kids show, you can have it on in the background and then just glance up every once in a while and, oh, cool, lightsabers. I think that's why. Yeah. That's
interesting because know if I'm home alone, like whether I'm like cleaning or doing other things, I usually have something on in the background.
Really?
Yeah, especially if it's something that doesn't require 100% my attention. Like I'm not the type of person that could like do actual work with it on in the background.
No.
I know the next generation is definitely more like that, that I teach and stuff. But I feel like if it's something I don't need to give 100% of my attention to, then I always have something on in the background.
Yeah. No, like if I'm cleaning, I don't have anything on, because if I'm cleaning, I'm going around the house.
Not even music?
Well, I'll have music on, but
Okay.
But actually, you know what? Not even then
Really?
most of the time, because if I'm moving around the house, I can't really hear it. And if if I'm vacuuming,
Oh, okay.
I can't listen
Sure.
to music and everything like that. So I don't know.
Okay, interesting. No, I kind of feel like it's like company, because like,
like you're some old woman who puts on NCIS because she doesn't
I'm
like
not
to be
gonna
alone.
lie. Like if I have to, if they tell me tomorrow that I'm gonna have to be on bed rest like the rest of the pregnancy, that's gonna be really rough for me. It's gonna be like hard. And you were like, I wish I could take your bed rest. And I'm like, well, that's not how it works, sweetie. But I kind of wish we could switch places right now, because if I spend like one day at home, I'm like ready to pull my hair out. I'm like, I have to go. Even
You'll
if
get a
it's-
headache.
Yeah, I get headaches. I'm like, I just need to get out. I need to be outside, or not even necessarily outside, because I'm not an outdoor girl. But I just need to be out and like functioning,
Like
and
run errands, go
socializing.
to the mall,
Yeah.
or like go to the gardens or something. Yeah.
Something. I need to do something. So, yeah, we'll see. So when they told me, like, okay, well, we'll see how it goes. We'll see. I don't know.
But
I'm
yeah,
kind of nervous about that.
I was, I like right when that happened and you started complaining, you're just like, oh, I don't know if I could spend that much time just indoors and just in the house. I'm like, oh, that would not be a problem for me. And like,
You'd embrace it.
I would embrace it with both arms. Like, I'd be like, you're telling me that I don't have to go to work, and in fact, I have to stay in bed and only play video games and watch Netflix? This is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
And with your job, you get to get paid to do that.
Well, yeah, for a limited time.
Well, yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes and no, you get paid for it. But yeah, I was like, with our two personalities, even though neither of us are outdoorsy,
No.
I very, very much could do that.
You
Like,
would be more the recluse if we were to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, if that's the thing, is that when we were engaged but living apart, because we didn't live together when we were engaged, you were a couple of towns over, and you had your life. You were going and getting your master's, and I was working, and I was living alone. I mean, like, I went from living with 5 guys, which I do not recommend, and to myself, and I loved it. I was running around naked, just like, woohoo! Like game controller in hand.
Oh, that's quite an image.
Yeah,
Okay.
but like all I owned was like a chair and my computer desk and my bed. That's all that I owned. And a dresser for my television. But anyway, the point of the story is that I had no problem being alone. Like, I had no problem being alone and being in my house and just playing video games, just watching, just writing, just reading. It was amazing. And that's the thing, though, is that the beauty of being married to an amazing woman is that I don't need to do those things, because I can just spend time with you, whether that is watching movies together, or just sitting and talking, or going outside.
I was gonna say, did I cramp your style?
No, that's the thing, is that like people, like, I want to talk about that a little bit. People will ask me, they're like, when it comes out that I play video games or that I like video games, sometimes they'll say like, well, what would you be doing if you were just a bachelor? I'd be like, I'd be playing video games. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be playing video games and watching movies. And they say it like, oh, that's how it is. And I'm like, no, I'm not saying that I'd rather be playing video games.
No, you
than
play video games all the time when I'm around.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying, is that like, it's not me. When I say that, people think like, oh, it's because of the girl. You can't play video games. I was like, no, I like like while I was playing video games, all I was thinking was, man, I wish the girl was here.
Yeah, I understand that.
And so it's not in replace of. It's like, it's not. I get to hang out with you. That's the benefit. Like,
Gotcha.
The second place is video games.
Well, that's good to know.
Well, it's just sad, because there's so many times when I'll see, like nerds online, or even just people online, or even just paying attention in pop culture, when they're in a relationship, they see that relationship as getting in the way of what they really want to do, whether it's their hobby or video games or comic books or all those stereotypical nerdy things. And it's like, yeah, those things are awesome. Those things are fun. And I do that when you're not around. But when I'm with you, I don't think, oh man, all I want to do is just read a comic book. Why is she here? Like, I don't think that way.
Yeah, no. And I mean, I feel like you would rather be doing it with me by your side.
That's one thing. Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, but when I am not around, then yeah, you have stuff that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like that. I like, I'm like, no, you cannot do that.
Yes, very much so. Yeah. And that's true too, is that even if I do feel the need to play video games, I don't go into another room.
No.
I'm like, no, sit next to me.
Yeah.
And you, I don't know, write in your journal or do whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It sounds like it's like write in my journal about.
He's playing video games
again.
Oh, he made me go and buy more Mountain Dew for him. But no. What were we talking about? We were talking about binge watching and things like that. So Parks and Rec.
What other shows do you like to binge?
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess we did talk about Star Wars Clone Wars. I really like to binge watch that one when I'm sick or like if I need to nap in between. Like that's one that I'll just play because I know I like to watch shows. Like if I'm sick or at home and you're not around, I like to watch shows that you don't like to watch.
Yeah.
Mainly just because I don't get to watch those when you're around.
Sure.
And Star Wars Clone Wars is one of those shows. But I think for me, like, what's a good show to marathon? I'd have to say I think Breaking Bad was designed to binge watch before binge watching was a thing.
What do you mean by that?
Well, when Breaking Bad came out, it was still on the cusp of Netflix popularity, I think.
Okay.
I mean, Netflix was a thing, but Netflix Instant Watch and everything like that was still growing. Now, it was, I may be understating it. But Breaking Bad was...
on the cusp, though.
Yeah, it was right up...
I
Yeah,
think so.
Yeah, it was right
So I
up.
think we mainly watched them on DVD.
Yes, we did. We were... I didn't start watching Breaking Bad until season 3, I think. Mm-hmm. I think that's when we started watching it live, was season 3 or season 4. And actually, even then, we didn't watch it live. We would just get the DVDs once the show was over. And so because we didn't have cable, we didn't have any spoilers for it. And so we didn't really have to worry about seeing a commercial or anything like that. And I was able to avoid it online. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, we're like, oh, like it's Christmas time. That's right. I would always get them at Christmas time.
Yeah.
And so I would get the seasons at Christmas time, and then you and I would just go hardcore on the DVDs. Mm-hmm. And it was funny because it's a show that was released week to week, and people would talk about it. But I found it so much more enjoyable to watch it on DVD.
Well, I think there's certain stories too that lend themselves to binge watching more than others. Like I feel like shows that kind of rely, there's more of like a story arc over the entire season. I feel like I much rather wait and watch them all together, binge watching them, versus, if it's much more, contained or a contained story, which I don't like really prefer, honestly.
Yeah.
I like
episodic versus story arcs and everything like that. Which is really funny because when you want to actively, I feel like there's something different between marathoning and binge watching. Maybe I'm using the wrong terms here, because there are shows that you and I like to actively marathon.
True.
As in, we're going to sit down, we're going to like, you know what? Screw our outside lives. We don't have family. We don't have friends when we're in this space. And so we're going to watch the show, and we're going to watch as much of it as we possibly can. Like House of Cards. Mm-hmm. We will sit down and we will watch House of Cards. That's the opposite of episodic.
Right, and I'm not going to start it if I'm not feeling good or if I'm sleepy.
Right. But there are shows that we like to binge watch or marathon that are episodic, like Parks and Rec or Bob's Burgers and things like that.
True.
That sometimes we just want on.
That's true. Yeah, it's absolutely true.
What's the difference there? Like we've never put House of Cards on just to be on.
No, I have not.
But we'll do that with Mad Men.
Yeah, what's with that?
I don't know. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think I'm too invested in the characters of like House of Cards. I think that's part of it, is that I have to, with Mad Men, it's like, okay, well, this is the season where this happens, you know, and I think that even more so House of Cards, it's more like the entire story.
It's true.
Whereas, I don't know, like, I feel like it's easier when I'm like, well, if I miss this, I know I can pick right back up, or I know where I can pick up if I want to. I don't know.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because I wonder how that is or why that is, because there are dramas that we'll just have on in the background, like we talked about with Breaking Bad, but then there are other ones where are episodic and we can just have on. So
yeah,
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, like, when I was home alone, I was like, well, Mad Men is interesting, and I feel like I can just watch it, and if I fall asleep, it's fine, and then I can pick back up. Whereas I wasn't interested in watching a comedy. I don't know why, but I was just kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna watch a drama. But I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just I didn't want to watch something that was like I got too like invested in. I think that's part of it too. Is like if I've watched it enough, then I don't have to be invested to watch it.
That's true. That's true. One thing that I'm wondering though is, after we got done watching Westworld, which I think everybody should watch because it's fun, is we realized that this is the type of show that should not be binge watched the first time you see it.
Yeah, the first time. I can agree with that.
Because I feel like with cerebral shows like that, you need to give it time to digest. And part of the fun of shows like Westworld is talking about it with your friends.
Yeah.
And debating about it and talking about fan theories and figuring out what they really mean when this happened and things like that.
It's true. It's kind of like when Lost was on the air too, where it was a bunch more fun week to week to kind of talk about what did that mean or something like that. Whereas if you were just to watch if you were just to marathon it, then that fun would be gone. You know, the hypothesis and stuff like that.
During that first run.
Yeah, exactly.
What's funny is that you for years tried to convince me to watch Lost, to watch it week to week with you, and I kept refusing. But then one weekend we watched the first season, and it like just one after the other, and I was just like, wow, this is cool.
That's true.
And so even though it was we're getting so many conflicting and contradictory examples here, because with Lost, I agree with you that it was fun to talk about it week to week, but when I was first experiencing it, it was really cool to see the first season one after the other.
Yeah, I know. Well, I imagine too, like I'm thinking about Westworld, and I imagine that it would be fun to marathon as well.
We did.
Yeah, that's true. We did.
Oh man, I forgot that we did that. Yeah, we
did.
We've seen Westworld twice.
Yeah, it has been out that long.
And it has been out that long. Yeah, what we did was we watched it week to week. And then once we got to the 9th episode, once we finished the 9th episode, because there was only 10, we're like, okay, let's watch the first 9 again before the 10th episode comes out.
Yeah, and we did that.
And that's what we did.
It's true. That's true. Yeah, and yet it's interesting because like with the Young Pope, we're still watching that, and that's a recent thing right now. And you're totally like, oh, I just wish they were all here.
That's very true. I feel like that is a show that's being released week to week that should be dropped in one season.
Why do you think that is though?
I don't know. I wish I had an answer. I feel like I'm letting the audience down because we're raising all these questions and we're not giving definitive answers. But with the Young Pope, I don't know, because I guess it's the same feeling as Westworld, where like once you watch an episode of Westworld, you're like, oh, I can't wait till next week. I can't wait to watch the next one. But there's something about the Young Pope where, because it's slow, because Westworld wasn't slow at all. Like it utilized its time wisely,
yeah,
I think.
I think so too.
But with Young Pope, it's slow and deliberate, and it takes its time. So I feel like because of that, because there isn't that much plot progression,
True.
every single episode, I feel like, okay, well, let's watch the next one so that we can see what happens next. Let's watch the next one to get that complete story.
Whereas you don't need to necessarily hypothesize or talk about it too much.
That's the thing, is that Young Pope is not cerebral.
No.
You're not wondering, like, the only thing that you're wondering is, what is Lenny's motivations?
Right.
And with Westworld, there's so many things going on and so much plot that it's like you it's like you have a 5-course meal and you're full once you're done with that hour of eating.
Yeah.
But with the Young Pope, you're enjoying, you're having like a salad, and it's a really great salad. Like, it's really nice. And you eat that for an hour and you're just like, I'm still hungry. I have no idea if that analogy works or if it's too labored, but that's how I feel.
Well, I'll take it. No, I agree. I completely agree. And I think it's interesting because I think it's probably is determined based on the person too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like when you're home in bed, binging or whatever, like, you can't go out or something. Like what kind of stuff do you like to watch? And is it stuff that just can like kind of pass over you, and if you aren't 100% invested, is that something that works, or is it something that you have seen a ton of times? Like, I don't know. What's the answer?
That's one thing that I'd really like to hear from you guys, the listeners.
Yeah.
Go to thenerdparty.com/contact, select Nerd Nuptial from the drop-down menu, and fill out the form and send us an email. Or you can send us a tweet at Join Nerd Party, or you can find me personally at The Insane Robin, or you can go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Nerd Party. Seriously, I really want to know from you guys, like, what's...
Because this is what works for us, but...
Yeah, that's the thing, is that, like, we may be talking about shows that you guys don't watch, or there may be a lot of shows out there that you guys are watching where you're just like, oh, you should binge watch this or anything like that. So if you want to give the girl some
That's true.
marathon recommendations while she's on bed rest, if she has to go on bed rest permanently, please go to thenerdparty.com/contact, select Nerd Nuptial, and send us some emails. Send us some recommendations.
Yeah.
Tell us, like, oh yeah, I didn't really like the show week to week, but it's great to marathon, or vice versa, or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Another one that I like to watch is, especially during the summer, like when I have tons of time because I'm a teacher, is The Office.
Yes.
Because I've seen it so many times and I can just let it wash over me.
I think you'll be on your deathbed
And still watch The Office.
and you'll still be watching The Office. Seriously, like, you'll be 108, surrounded by great grandchildren, and you'll be like, Dwight is hysterical in this episode.
You're funny.
You love that thing to death. You love that show.
Yeah.
One show that I got hooked on when you weren't around, I can't remember what you were doing. Oh, I was out of work.
Oh.
That's what it was.
Okay.
Yes, I was out of work for like 6 months. So I was just doing freelance when I could get it. My company totally went under.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, great. Unemployment is not fun.
No.
And you do everything that you can. Like, here's the thing, is that I would apply for every single job in my field, no matter where it was, or if I was qualified or overqualified. And I was able to do that in like 2 hours every day.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, great, 2 hours down. What am I supposed to do for the next 6 until my wife comes home? And so, like, I felt like a loser because I'm like, I should be doing something. I should be trying to find work. I should be pounding the pavement, as they say. But you can only apply to so many jobs,
Yeah.
you can't do it all day.
Right.
And so one thing that I found that I had no idea why I got into it, where I was just like, I can't remember why I selected it, because it's not really something that at the time, a 20-something, boy would think like, yeah, let's do this. Like, I'm going to binge watch this. And that's Downton Abbey.
Did you really?
I did. It was
That's funny.
It's when Downton Abbey was on Netflix, because it was on Netflix for a long time before they signed an exclusive agreement with Amazon Prime, which pissed me off because I hate the interface of Amazon Prime. But yeah, it was on Netflix, and it was just like 6 episodes a season or 8 episodes a season or something really short. And so, like, for an American at the time, that was like, you're like, oh, you're getting screwed out of so many other episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But I started watching it, and I could not stop. I could not stop. I was addicted.
That's so funny.
I needed it. I needed to watch it. And for some reason, I kept thinking, I was like, the girl would never like this. She would never be about this. This would be like watching paint dry for her, because I was raised on British drama. Like I was raised on period pieces because of my mom, where people would enter in a room and say like, Jeffrey, yes, love. What shall we have for dinner? I don't know.
Yeah, I can't stand that
like
stuff. Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And Downton Abbey is all about that.
Oh, yeah.
And I started when I told you, I was just like, oh, I'm addicted to this show, and you said, well, describe an episode to me. And I said, I was like, okay, so Cousin Violet is running the flower show, and her roses win every single year. But yet the other cousins are just like, that's not fair, because totally this guy's roses are way better than yours, and people just vote for you because you're the dowager, and like people are scared of you. And then cousin Matthew comes into the play, and you're just like, oh my God, are they gonna get with Mary or not? And it's just kind of funny, because then you have to worry about, is the library books, like, are they using their the proper checkout system for Lord Grantham library books? And they didn't. And you're like, oh. And you are like, wow, I fell asleep during that first sentence.
Yeah.
You lost me at flower show.
Yeah, exactly.
But for somehow, like, after a couple seasons, I said, I was like, no, you're going to watch this. And you were addicted too.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's a show that I love to binge.
But think about the content of it. Like, maybe later on it got a little more serious in the seasons, but there's not a lot that actually happens in Downton Abbey.
No.
So you can kind of let it wash over you. Even if you're invested, it's not going to like bother you.
Yeah.
It's like, the craziest thing that happens is not crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that there's something to that.
With a few exceptions.
Well, a few exceptions. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you can kind of watch it and let it just be like, oh no, they didn't set the table right.
Yeah, it's true. That's like a major plot point.
He doesn't have the right uniform. Oh dear.
Like, oh my gosh. The cheek. The absolute cheek. Yeah. And that's the thing, though, is that those first 3 seasons are phenomenal of Downton Abbey, and you can binge watch them. And like you said, not much happens, and so it's fun to binge watch. And that's kind of what we were talking about with The Young Pope. Not much happens, and so it's fun to watch one after the other. And it's the same with Downton Abbey, but now by like season 2, it got like super melodramatic.
True.
He bruised his spine, and so they thought he would never walk again, and then he couldn't have children, and then it was like, oh, I should have got married to this woman, blah blah blah. And then the war happened, but then all of a sudden they started recycling. Like, that's one thing about binge watching, is that you start to notice the recycling of plots.
True.
More so than if you waited week to week.
Very true. Very true.
Where, like, as you're watching it and you're watching the later seasons of Downton Abbey, you're just like, wow, they're doing this again? Already? This is insane. Like, it's just repeating itself over and over again. And then you have to realize, oh, this is over the course of 3 years, and we're doing it in less than 3 weeks.
True. That's very true. Kind of have to get some slack in that way. And there's only so much you can do, but you do tend to see certain things that are recycled, and you're like, oh, come on, really?
Like, one thing was, we stopped watching How I Met Your Mother live in the later seasons. That was one show that we watched week to week sometimes.
Yeah.
But that was another DVD show that we really liked, where we just waited.
Yeah.
And then bought it on DVD and then binge watched it, or just watched it whenever. But the last season, which I think is the 9th season, and it all takes place in the course of a weekend, which I thought was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I liked that idea. That was fun to binge watch. Like, that was interesting to watch all at once, because it took place in one weekend. It felt like a mini series. And I was talking with my sister, and she hated the ending of the show. And we were just kind of like, okay, whatever. We were just like, that's fine, I guess. But she hated it because she was invested with this story. Like I'm not going to spoil too many things, but the ending of the season completely made the entire season before it pointless. Like you lasted 22 episodes. Like it took 22 episodes building this couple up, and then in the 23rd episode they broke up. But from the character's perspective, it wasn't the entire year. Mm-hmm. And so from the people watching it, you invested an entire season of your time and your energy into this. You and I invested a couple of days.
Right.
And that's also interesting facet into how you consume your media.
Absolutely, because if you have been waiting for weeks to see how something plays out, and it's one of your shows, then yeah, you're going to be more upset than if you just watched it in a marathon session.
I think that was one thing that really upset us about Walking Dead, is that that's a great show to binge watch. That's a great show. It's on Netflix, and it's great to just like crank out a season in a weekend. But the thing is, when you watch it live and you get a crappy episode, you're like, oh, what a waste.
Yeah, and there's a lot of wasted episodes in that show. Like, I mean, I'm thinking about the second season. Oh.
Yeah, when they're on the farm, there are so many pointless episodes on the farm, and it's just, that's the thing, is that like you wait a whole week, you're just like, oh great, I hope this one's good, and then you watch it and you're like, that sucked, that was crap. You feel angry,
you feel cheated.
You feel cheated. That's the word. Yeah. But when you're binge watching it, you're just like, oh, that was a poor episode. Let's go to the next one. Hopefully that one's better, and then you move on.
Right, or you skip it.
or the next time. Yeah. If it's not your first time, you can skip it. But yeah, I remember that feeling of betrayal.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think there's something to that for sure.
And that happens a lot. Like we talked about Star Wars, Clone Wars a little bit before. The new series Star Wars Rebels, which is done by the same people, which the reason why they had to stop Clone Wars is because of the sale of Lucasfilm, and they had to change distribution partners to Disney. Anyway, sorry, I find that stuff fascinating. I'm just like, yeah. But with Star Wars Rebels, they kind of have this Walking Dead syndrome, where the opening episode is mind-blowing. You're like, man, this season's going to be good. And then you have a couple of episodes and you're just like, oh, that's okay. That's fine. That's fine. Like they're good, but they're not mind-blowing. And then you have a couple of ones where you're like, why are you wasting my time? Why did you even produce that episode? What's the point? And then they have a mid-season finale, and you're like, oh, that's why I watched this show. Amazing. And they repeat the whole process over until you get to the season finale. And you're like, wow, worth it. It's like they trick you into watching it. And the entire time as I'm watching it, after I finish either the mid-season finale or the finale, I'm like, why don't you just do that all the time?
Yeah.
Like, it's CGI animation, okay? You don't have to worry about that much budget. You don't have to worry about building this. I mean, okay, again, I know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure it takes
time, like you have, like, in order to build new environments. Yes, I'm not trying to trivialize it. I'm just saying it's a different type of storytelling,
right? That
should be advantageous for knocking it out of the park and not having to waste time.
Yeah,
because
I get that.
A lot of time with video production, you're just like, okay, we're gonna do a bottle show. Like a bottle show is where it's already on. It's on one set, or like one existing set. Like in Star Trek, they had battle shows where the entire episode took place on the ship, so they did not have to go and shoot on location or go and build new sets or anything like that. And they did that often to save money so that they could, build up some cash for the next one. You don't have that excuse.
That's true. That's very true.
With that type of animation.
You kind of know what each episode costs.
Yeah.
And it probably is pretty consistent.
And so just make the writing consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah.
It makes me angry.
Clearly.
It's upset. But that was a show that I tried to binge when I was sick. I think I got super sick for a week. I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy the first season of Rebels, and I'm going to binge watch that.
Make you feel better.
Yeah, and that was good because of the whole, like what I said with Walking Dead. Like I knew that there was some bad episodes, but it's okay because I have the next one.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, and that's why I did that.
I totally get that. Yeah, another show I feel like both of us, except for the fourth season, Arrested Development.
Oh, geez.
Is one that we both binged hard. on our own, even.
Yes.
Each of us on our own.
Yeah, we've talked about that a couple of times on the show before, about how that was one way that you and I really, really connected, and we were really living apart then. And
Yeah.
like I was living in you were living in Northern Illinois, I was living in Central Illinois, and it was interesting because a buddy of mine told me I had to watch it. I watched it, and I got as many discs as I could from Blockbuster, and then as soon as I was done with the show, I went out and bought them. And I think you rented one disc, and you went out and bought them.
I
after
did,
that.
yeah.
And and even when I was going to school and working in Hollywood, we would watch them together over the phone.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
We would put them in the DVD player. We're like, okay, 3, 2, 1, play.
Yep.
And
That was fun.
that's how we racked up a $750 phone
Oh
bill.
my gosh, yeah. That was rough. Which we
Like-
did not realize.
He's like, wait, so it's not free after 7 if it's on Pacific time? like what? That was a fun conversation to have. But yeah, no, Arrested Development is great because it's one of those shows where it straddles the line of episodic as well as story arc, where each episode is its own story, but at the same time, you're watching the story of the family,
Right.
Trying to achieve something.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to, I don't know, I feel like that one is one that, I feel like the characters themselves, it's not like I have to pay a ton of attention to, because they just kind of, you can flow from episode to episode.
And we've watched it so many times.
Exactly.
Now, season 5 is happening.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I feel good about it.
Really?
I do.
Oh,
Because there was so much backlash from season 4.
true.
There was nobody liked season 4.
No one did.
No one I've talked to, no one I've seen online, no reviewer I have ever seen said, like, yes, season 4 was a good decision. And so because it was such a bad season, and yet they're continuing to do it, I feel like it's going to be better. Because this is not a season that you and I personally thought was crap, but yet everybody else liked.
No, everyone.
This was
No one liked
not
it.
a conflicting thing where some people liked it and some people didn't. And so this is not something that will reinforce that behavior. And so I truly feel like the makers of season 4 is going to go, holy crap, we screwed up. This was nothing like seasons 1 through 3, and that's what people wanted. Let's try to do something different, or let's try to do something that harkens back to the tone of the original.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, like, do I
hope
know?
so.
Of course I don't know.
Well, and I think there was so much hope with season 4 that, I mean, and then we realized it wasn't going to happen. I just hope that they don't go the direction that they were planning on going, because they made some serious character choices there where I'm just not okay with. So
That's true, but we have seen a lot of shows with storylines that are set up in a season finale that are quickly
they backtrack.
like backtracked or abandoned.
That's
So
true. That's very true.
I have hope for season 5. I mean,
Okay.
that's the thing, is that there are times when I will give a show a chance to redeem itself.
Mhm.
I mean, there's so many shows out there where, like, if you have a crap season, people are like, oh, it should be done. It's over. I'm like, let's give it a shot to learn from its
Yeah.
mistakes. And I mean, that's the thing, is that, like, season 3, like we of House of Cards, we didn't really like that much. And so we're like, okay, well, if they're coming out with another one, hopefully it's the last one. But then it's mind-blowing. Season 4 was mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And so we're like, give us more.
Yeah. That's
Like,
true.
that could be the situation with Arrested Development,
Oh, I hope so.
So I'm just hoping.
Yeah.
That's
It's
all.
hard. It's hard to mess up with that cast, and yet at the same time, I think because they weren't all on at the same time, I think that's
Yeah.
what made it fail.
Oh, absolutely. And I think they understand that. And I'm pretty sure Mitch Hurwitz has actually admitted to that, where he said, he's like, yeah, we tried to do something where not everybody was available at the same time. And so we shot it differently, and we had to develop the stories differently, and it just didn't work. I think
Clearly, yeah.
I think he admitted that it didn't work. Now, yeah, sure, there are filmmakers out there who admit things don't work, but yet they don't change.
Right.
Zack Snyder. But regardless. So, all right. I think that's good. I think we went over a lot of different types of binge watching and marathoning
Yeah.
and everything like that. So
I don't know if we really came to a conclusion,
I don't think so either.
but at the same time, I don't know. I would love some suggestions if I to stay in bed rest, which probably is going to happen.
But seriously, like, show that you care for the girl and give us some suggestions. Go to
That's right.
thenerdparty.com/contact. Select Nerd Nuptial from the drop-down menu. Fill out the form. It'll send us an email.
Yep.
And
I don't really like period pieces.
Yeah. Stay away from the British dramas. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really like I don't know, like cop shows. I don't really like those.
Yeah.
But I do love like crime investigation stuff.
That's true. Like, yeah, you do really dig on
documentaries and
true
stuff.
crime and documentaries and things like that, but not police procedurals like Law and Order or CSI and things like that. And if anyone suggests Hawaii Five-0, I'm going to block you from the website. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for downloading and listening. And please go to thenerdparty.com and check out all of our other shows. We got so many. We got tons. We got new content coming to you every single day of the week. And I just have one thing to say. I love you.
I know.
Join the revolution. Join the Nerd Party.